Give me. We should be starting in a second, and we're live on YouTube, Mayor.
Okay, excellent. Good evening, everyone. Let's just start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Should be starting in a second, and we're live on YouTube, Mayor.
Okay, excellent. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
Public
and for the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to welcome Eli Kashi to his actually second, but really the first meeting of this year. We're excited to have you on board, Eli, and I hope that I'm sure that you're going to contribute significantly to the board as well as to the community.
Thank you.
A couple of updates as far as the COVID. I don't know if people are following. Unfortunately, our village has been hit with a large uptick of numbers. I'm not aware of many hospitalizations, and I have not heard of any deaths, but we all have to be taking these days very seriously as schools have opened. The summer is coming to an end, and there has been many gatherings. I know many of these gatherings may be within the number that is allowed by the executive order, but we have to make sure that the executive order also includes masks and social distancing. We all have to realize that we are sending our kids to school, hoping for them to be safe, for them to stay safe, and for them not to bring anything back to the parents and possibly grandparents, to people that may have some medical compromise. So I ask and I urge again, as I have before, to please make sure to use your common sense, to heed to the advice of the physicians and listen to the science. We have been able to go back to some normalcy, but that can be taken away if we become too complacent and not pay attention. So please, I urge you again to be careful, to continue wearing your masks when you cannot social distance, and avoid large gatherings. That said, I encourage everyone to go for walks if they want to, with their nuclear family, and while they're social distancing, you don't need to wear a mask. Just please be respectful to others and stay away. And this way, hopefully, we can keep our community safe. With that said, Abraham, start the meeting. I wanted to also mention, I think Eli mentioned something, I don't know if it got to the agenda or not, that he wanted to start a group of people that are going to just create, to be there for safety reasons, make sure that if there are groups of people gathering without masks or doing things that should not be done at these times, to give them a warning and possibly have some kind of an enforcement as a backup from the police. Again, I wanted to thank him to spearheading this. We do need the community to be more involved. We will keep you guys informed about any development on that front.
Mr. Mayor, the first item of the agenda is assigning a street address to a section block 1, 201, 160. This is a property that was subdivided in 2019, and this has come in front of a board twice before. I'm going to pull up the information on this in just a moment. A letter was submitted back in December, and if you look at the map, I'm going to share the map with you in just a moment here. Okay, the property is located right here. These are the boundaries of the property if you follow my mouse. It's very small. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. These are two lots, 46A and 46B, that is owned by Dwight Lane LLC. This was subdivided, as I mentioned, in 2019, and there's a line that it's currently is going from this line, this corner, all the way through Dwight Lane to the other side of Dwight Lane. And they want to divide it into three different lots. There's a lot 46B that's going to be divided. 46A will extend through half of 46B, and then this portion of the property here will be given to the newly subdivided properties, and then the rest of it will be a freestanding tax entity. Now, if you look at the map here, the property here at the corner of Steamboat is number 2 Dwight Lane. Property right adjacent to it is number 4. Number 6 is across the street on this side. That's number 6 Dwight Lane. And across here, these are 199 A, B, C, and D West Shore Road. The property owner is requesting that the newly subdivided property should be numbered either number 7 Dwight Lane or number 18 Dwight Lane. As I mentioned, this came in front of a board back in December, and the board asked that we speak to other homeowners in that street in Dwight Lane to see if they wanted to renumber their houses so the odd numbers and the even numbers are on the correct side of the street. I have tried to reach out to them. Some of them do not want any change because they're afraid that the postmaster and the mail carriers will get all confused about it. It will be too much of a hassle for them to change their address. They do not want to change any of the addresses. Now, the property owner at this newly subdivided property has come back and asked if we could get either 7 or number 18 for this new property that was subdivided.
So right now, across the street is number 6, and they're asking if there's going to be 2 houses or 2 properties or 3?
There's going to be 2 property. As you could see, there is 2 tax lot. This is one of them, and the other one is right here next to it. These 2 tax lots were divided into more even tax lots.
Got it. Okay, so got it. So
what was added is the Dwight Lane. Dwight Lane is currently attached to 46A and B, and now with the newly subdivided maps, part of it will be in front of 46A, part of it will be in front of 46B, and then the rest of it will be separately taxed.
Okay, but the question that is at hand is the numbers that we're going to be allocating to those 2 lots, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
currently
one of them will remain number 199 West Shore Road. The question is on the second parcel, the number, whether you want to, they are looking to get a new street address for that. They're not looking to change the original tax lot number.
Is parcel A the one that will remain 199 West Shore Road?
Correct, yes. Yes.
I mean, already there's an inconsistency by having 6 on the other side of the street. I think if we go with, what was the other choice, number 7?
I think 7 is
18. They're requesting 7 or 18, but again, anything, it's board's decision what number they want to give it to them. But as you could see, as I mentioned, it's already, as you mentioned, number 2 and 4 on one side of the street, and number 6 is on the opposite side of the street. So I'm going to pull up another map that it will make it a little more clear of how they subdivided the property. There you go. This new map you will see in just a moment. I'm just gonna maximize it. So you could see that this is 46, I believe. It was 46A. And then this area was 46B. Now they subdivided it. They want this portion to remain at 199. And this is the newly added tax lot that they wanted to be changed to a new number, whether 7 or
Are
8.
there any odd numbers in that street at all or no? Because I see
Um,
6 and then there's,
There's
said-
4, there's 2, 6, and 8. I did not notice any odd numbers. I can check it again. If you give me one moment, I can pull it up.
2,
That
6,
map.
and 8.
When you
Correct.
do
So-
Google Maps doesn't show anything because it's a private road.
Correct. Dwight Lane is a private road, and it's
We
currently,
have 2, 6, and 8. Can we just say 10? So everything is, I mean, 7 doesn't make sense. 18 is just
So far off, yeah.
so far. I mean, I don't know. I think we should just call it a 10,
and
or
also,
doesn't make any difference what number we put on it because it's just everything is off anyway.
You want,
and off the front, right. And then if you notice here, tax lot 49 is still 199, I believe, D as David, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have empty lot here, number 47, that has to be named when they develop it, whenever the owner develops it. Number 48 opens into Ratcliffe Drive, so that we don't have to be worried about it. And then anything past this line is already Kings Point, so there is no other subdivision that will be happening.
And Abraham, just real quick, the addresses are 2, 4, and 6, not
And
8.
this is not 8, this is
Yeah.
6,
Yeah, it's 2, 4, and 6.
2, 4, 6.
They
I'm
are
sorry.
asking for 8.
no,
Oh,
they
they're
They're
were-
asking
asking for 7.
Asking
They're
18
asking
or
for
they're asking 7 or 18. I think we should put it 8, then 2, 4, 6, and 8.
I agree.
Ah,
I
but
don't think
remember-
8 is a bad number. I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with an 8. I think
there's
just
a
do
tax-
2, 4,
there's a
6, and 8. So it just is.
The empty tax lot right here, tax lot number 47, that has to be renamed at some point.
So they probably do that number 10, or let's deal with that one when it comes. But I think that because of their proximity, I think 2, 4, 6, and 8 makes the most sense.
Okay. So can we table this? So we just tell them that what's going to be? Mayor?
Yes. You want to table it? Okay. If you want to tell them that we want to, call it 8 and see what they say, that's okay.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. The next item on the agenda is the annual appointments. I'm going to pull up the proposed list in just a moment. The agenda. This is the list of proposed appointments. If you have no question regarding this, maybe Peter can call the resolution, please. Or call for a vote.
Mayor, are you making these appointments? And then I will ask for a motion to have the Board of
Yes, I'm
Trustees
making these
ratify
appointments.
same.
Yes. I am
Is there a
making these
motion by the
appointments.
board to ratify the appointments?
I move it.
Moved by the deputy mayor. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. Are there any objections or abstentions? The motion passes unanimously.
The next item is
Okay.
an annual resolution. It contains, I believe, 14 different resolutions. The first one is to the bank depository. If you want, I can go through it one by one. Or Peter, would you like to explain how this annual resolutions work, or should I go through it?
Certainly, members of the board, the various state laws and directives by the state controller require the village to adopt certain policies, and they include the designation of a bank depository, one or more, The first resolution does that for Chase, Flushing. You can see JP Morgan Chase Bank, Flushing Commercial Bank, and Flushing Commercial ICS Program are authorized depositories. And there are a number of further banking institutions in the resolution number 2, which is the resolution authorizing the village treasurer to invest in certificates of deposit of those banks. The third resolution also authorizes an investment in what's known as a municipal pool, which is defined in the general municipal law. The fourth resolution provides that certain claims against the village do not require sworn statements, and others do. Those that can be paid in less than $2,500 are not going to be required sworn statements. And there are also, under number 5, certain bills that can be paid without each individual board meeting authorizing them on the list of abstracts. And you'll see that they basically the utility services, payroll, things that come every week that have to be paid. And the state law authorizes that they be paid without awaiting a board resolution. Number 6 authorizes a mileage reimbursement for employees who use their private vehicles for village business. And number 7 sets the official year and the meeting dates of the Board of Trustees. All of these, by the way, are resolutions that from time to time, should the board choose to do so, the board can amend. Number 8 provides for overtime pay at time and a half, which would be required by the Fair Labor Standards Act. Number 9 provides for a property tax notice together with interest and a $2 penalty that the law authorizes be placed on each notice that is sent out as a reimbursement for postage and the administrative task. Number 10 is a bonding authorization under the local finance law. And number 11 authorizes the mayor to close Village Hall on days that he believes inclement weather or some other emergency calls for it as being appropriate to close. Number 12 authorizes under state law for the last 100 years, certain public officers are required to post a bond to make sure that they don't abscond with the village treasury. And it is now permitted that you can have an insurance policy substitute for the bond. And that's what resolution number 12 does. Number 13 is an optional resolution. The board is authorized but not required to designate a specific newspaper as the official village newspaper. And in this case, you are designating that the Great Neck News be deemed your official newspaper. Number 14, again, deals with certificates of deposit and is authorized to use savings and/or demand deposit accounts in that regard. And the last resolution authorizes the village to accept credit card payments. And each one of these has a statutory or controller regulation authorization. If there's any questions about any particular resolution, I'd be happy to answer them, but the village adopts these on an annual basis.
We adopted these, I believe, in the last election, which is about a year and a half ago, and I think it got delayed until today. Is that correct, Abraham? Or was it exactly October of last year that we adopted these?
Last time it was passed was 2018.
Okay, so, okay.
Generally done at the annual organizational meeting.
Okay, fine. So in the next election, obviously, this is going to be done again. Okay.
It's annual, yes, these are annual resolutions that are passed usually on an annual basis.
Okay. All right, very good. I move to pass this resolution.
Second.
No, we'll do it next time. We'll do it next. Okay,
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, unanimous.
the next item on the agenda is a request for a refund for the permits fee paid on a property located at 35 Arundel Avenue. I'm going to give you a little background about this. There is a gentleman who, back in 2008, I believe, bought this property and came in front of the board in 2010. After they draw the plans and they came with the plan in front of the board saying that they cannot, they have a financial hardship and they will not be able to pay for the permit fees. At the time, Mayor Kreitzman and the board and administration at the June 1st, 2010 meeting, they denied the applicant's request for waiver of the fees. The gentleman paid for the permit fee. The permit was issued, and then something happened with the financials market, and he was not able to get the loan. And subsequently, he sold the property. Now, after many years, he's now coming back, and he is applying to get his fees that he paid back. And we tried to explain to the gentleman that the board may not entertain this, but the gentleman was adamant that he wants to be heard, his case to be heard in front of the board. So here it is.
If the permits fee, I mean, I think that's what we've done in past. If the permit fees are paid and the permits issued, we have not returned the fees paid. I think that's what we had done in past. If the permits are not issued, then depending on what was done, I think part of the payments was repaid to those individuals. So from my memory, and I would like to ask any of the member of the boards or Peter to correct me if I'm wrong in this matter.
Not wrong, Mayor, but just incomplete, if I may. It is not just your custom and practice, but your village law requires that. Section 237-25 subdivision E as in Edward provides that no fees shall be refunded after a permit has been granted by reason of a claim of abandonment of the project or otherwise. So it is under your current local laws prohibited to return those fees.
All right. So unfortunately, I'm going to decline the request.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is a tax cert resolution for.
Mayor, if I may, Mayor, do you wish a board vote on that, or are you
Yes,
just the
sure.
board not entertaining the application?
Yes, we can go ahead. I mean, I move to decline the
Is there a
board.
motion is there a motion to reject the application?
I'll move it. Second.
Moved by the deputy mayor. Any discussion on the motion? Anyone object or abstain on that motion? In that case, the motion to deny the application is unanimously passed.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is a tax cert for the property located at 240-250 Middle Neck Road, also known as North Shore Millbrook LLC. They have submitted the tax cert to our assessor, and currently it is pending in Nassau County Court. It has been negotiated by the assessor's office, and they are suggesting for 2016 through 2020, there should be a refund of $13,000 for the overpayment of what they believe it was an overpayment, and to set the assessment of the property for 2021 at $9 million. Just want to add, this property is Millbrook, which will be going extensive updates and extensive construction in the coming months, probably for the next couple of years. So there will be a new assessment on it as the work progresses for the next few months or few years, in fact.
So they're asking for a $13,000 refund from which year to which year?
2016 through 2025 years.
2016 to 2025. And did they go through the
2020.
process? They went through the process of.
It was, yes, they have filed with the county, and it has been negotiated through Mr. B's office as well as our assessor.
What's
Okay.
the count? Off.
I couldn't hear that.
How much is the county giving them back if they want 13 from us?
I'm not sure what the county is giving them back. This is just strictly just the villages. Over 5 years, this is.
Why are they saying we overbilled them?
So
They-
they can
It's
always
based-
come back and say that we have overvalued the property, and they can go to court and they say that, and they can always negotiate it. And if there's a merit to it, we have to. The way it's usually done is we come into some sort of a agreement of what it should have been, and it resolves that way.
If we undervalue.
The tax bill, right, the tax bill is based on the assessed valuation of the property. And in this case, your own assessor is indicating to you that he feels there may be some argument, some merit to their position that they were assigned the wrong assessed valuation. If the assessed valuation is changed, then the tax bill changes. And without going into executive session, I can tell you that our office has spoken to the assessor, and he believes that this is a good settlement and that there is a significant risk that if the matter is decided by a court, we could potentially face higher exposure.
Okay.
Do we have any recourse if we undervalue a property?
Huh.
Not retroactively.
Ah, okay. So they do, but we don't.
Annie, are you suggesting that your house has been undervalued?
Oh, no, I'm just saying that if a resident comes to us with that question,
No, I don't think anyone's going to come and say that my house are undervalued. But listen, so it's up for the board to make a move.
I can put up the resolution, yes, that's up to you, either to allow this to go ahead and be settled on this, or if you wanted to go to the Nassau County, continue, it should continue with the Nassau County Court. And then it will be up to the judge to decide.
So how would we just reduce their taxes? They wouldn't have to pay, or would we have to pay them?
These are the taxes that they already paid. We already told them that we believe that the assessment of the value, the assessment of the property is
I'm
correct.
losing you.
And then they took us to the court saying that they.
But I'm saying, would we cut them a check?
I'm sorry?
Yes, you would cut a check for $13,000 for a refund of that money.
Or could we just reduce next time by 13?
No, Steve,
no,
because
we
this is
didn't
what they
refund.
have overpaid. They have proven that they have overpaid for the past 5 years. And based on our assessor assessing the situation, he is saying that yes, they probably did overpay. The assessment should have been lower. It shouldn't have been as high as he assessed it. And this is a negotiation that after they went through the negotiation, that they're requesting this money to be repaid. This has happened with other businesses and homeowners as well. Obviously not to this amount, probably a little bit less, but this is commonplace that does happen, unfortunately, that we do have to pay back some of the taxes that we have received.
All right. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Is there a motion to approve the settlement?
So moved.
And is there any objection or
Oh,
abstention?
you need a second. Right?
Anybody
Well,
second it?
By your custom, yes, not required by law, right?
Okay. I'll second
Is
it.
there any abstention or objection?
None.
Hearing none, it unanimously is authorized.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, before we continue, there were two appointments that were left off the list. I apologize. One is for the superintendent of building. Mr. Haramis started in December of 2019, and it wasn't on the last year appointment. Therefore, it was left out this year. I have to apologize for that omission. And also the court clerk, Mrs. Ward, was left out of those. Does the board wishes to reappoint Mr. Haramis to the superintendent of building and Mrs. Ward to court clerk?
I move.
Second.
Steve, could you log out for a minute? No. Approved.
All Any abstentions or objections? Unanimously approved.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a request by 705 Middle Neck Road for the permit fee waiver. Is the applicant in the meeting?
Abraham, I think
They're not attending for tonight's meeting?
no.
Okay. Mayor, are you tabling it or are we just taking it off
No,
indefinitely?
we're taking it off.
Okay, thank you. The next item is to schedule a meeting, a public meeting for a review of a site plan, architectural review, and facade review for a property located at 777 Middle Neck Road. The suggestion is to have it for the next meeting. It would be October 20th, probably around this time, which is about 8 o'clock.
Fine, I'll move it.
Second.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, unanimously passed. Members of the board, I do note that the resolution was for a hearing, not for a public hearing. There's a technical distinction between the two. At a hearing, you may hear from any member of the public who wishes to speak, but it does not require publication in the newspapers, et cetera. A public hearing has certain formalities that precede it that a hearing does not. So it is my understanding that you have designated this to hear from the public and the applicant or from whomever you wish, but it is not being classified as a formal public hearing.
Do we need a public hearing for this project to be approved?
A public hearing is not required under your code for facade, architectural, or site plan review.
Right.
You may hold one. You are authorized to have one if you wish, but it is not a requirement of law.
Okay, we are publicizing it now, and we are going to put it on our website as soon as possibly the end of this week.
Very good.
The next two items on the agenda are kind of connected. One is we have few proposal. I'll put it up shortly regarding the parking ticket management system that we have. The parking system management that currently we have, it's outdated. The parking enforcement officers currently, they carry their what it's called ticket scanning guns, and they have to use it to scan the car's registration, and then they have to, it involves various steps that they have to upload it, and then it has to go to the vendor that we work with. It has to be uploaded into the servers, and it includes various different steps. In the recent years, there have been a few other companies that they have worked with various municipalities in New York area that they offer a better management system. And by better, I mean more advanced management system that relies heavily on technology rather than manual labor. I can pull it up. I have, and if you have in front of you, as you could see, a few proposals. One of them, the first one is from MSI, which is a Municipal System, Inc. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I'm just going to really, from a brief explanation of each one. This one, they are offering it to us for a monthly subscription of $650. However, what they offer is not what we're looking for. Their system of how they manage it, it's not the one that it might work best for the village. However, there are less expensive proposals in front of you, as you could see, for $650. The second one that we received is from an AIMS or AIMS parking management solution that we received. They have what we are looking for. They have the software, they have the web portal, they have all the devices and what we're looking for. However, their price is $29,700 for the next 3 years. That amount would be for each year. The other proposal that we received is from T2. They are also very up to date. They are good things to consider regarding them. However, they have a very large upfront cost that it's closer to $30,000, and per our discussion with them, it is not guaranteed that it's going to stay at 30,000. If they have to give us more training, this number may increase, and it has to be an in-person training. The last one that we have I put in front of you for your consideration is from a company called G-Techna. As you could see in front of you, this one is an upfront cost that they have told us. It includes the printer, adapter, the shoulder straps, and 3 years of warranty on the machines. The upfront cost will be $1,561 that they're offering us. And then an annual fee of $1,666.67. That means it translates into a $20,000 a year program cost. Now, this last one is one of the best that we have seen in the market. I'm just going to really quickly through all what they offer. They offer a server. That means we don't have to have any server from our part. We don't need to have our own server to put our pictures that the officers take. They store everything for us on our behalf. They have the eCitation app that they give us. Just what I have to mention here, that we have to provide our officers with an Android device, however. So that would be our cost, which if you get even the latest model Android, it would be only like $800 per device, and it's already in the budget. The other thing that they will offer us is a Google geocoding API, they call it, which is basically a GPS device that is built in the system. And this will eliminate the manual chalking of the cars. That means if an officer goes up to a car and take a picture of it, it will automatically and electronically will quote unquote chalk the car. And when they return, and if the car is found to be parked there in the same in the area, not in the area, in the place that it was electronically chalked, over time, that would warrant a summon. What they offer with this system is also something called an LPR, or an officer LPR. LPR stands for license plate reader, that our parking officers can take a picture of the license plate, and it will run it for any other summons or any other liability that the car might have to the village, and it will bring it up at the time of the reading of the plate. They have they're offering an enhanced barcode reader, which eliminates manually entering all the car information. Basically, an officer walks up with an Android device, it takes a picture of the barcode on the registration of the car, and it will automatically downloads the color of the car, the model of the car, all the relevant information that is needed to issue a summon if the summon is warranted. They offer this also with an interface with the New York State Department of Motor Vehicle, or a DMV, that they will run all the license and all the plate numbers for us, included in the price. They have a portal that we could make an online scheduling if someone wishes to attend a court session. We can download everything on a Excel sheet and run our own reports on it. And the second page, you will see that they are offering, these are per unit cost. So whatever I said till now is included in the cost of a 1667. They have out-of-state searches that they charge $1.50. That's the standard amount. The other thing that they are offering, which is it's very attractive in comparison to the other companies that they offer this system, not this system, but a system like this, is a $3 flat rate for a credit card payments. So a ticket is issued, officer takes a picture, all the relevant information, and everything is uploaded immediately in the portal. Now the driver comes back to the car. They take the ticket. There is a barcode, or I believe it's called a QR. It's a smart barcode at the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the ticket. They can scan that and they can see immediately why the ticket was issued and the pictures of the car. For example, a car is parked in front of a fire hydrant. Everything comes up immediately, and they have two choices. They can either make a payment with a credit card, and there's a $3 flat rate for that. Now, I spoke to the gentleman this afternoon, and he mentioned that we might have an option of using our own vendor for credit card. That's an option that the village might consider as well. They also offer what it's called, before I move to the next item, the other option that the driver has is to schedule a court hearing, which they can do online immediately. The last option that they have is a print and mail service. We can have our own templates, and our own court clerk can print and send it out without requesting and incurring any cost. However, they have the option, if you want to send a bulk email, we can use them as well. Just couple things for your information. We have checked out, this system is used by the town of North Hempstead as well as town of Hempstead, and they are happy with the system. As a references, they have a 24-hour customer service. That is something that's not customary in the world of management for the tickets. That's a great plus. And as far as the price is considered, the current vendor that we have, just a very brief explanation of it, the current agreement that we have that was signed back in 2012, it enables them to take 33% of all the collected fees, all the collected fines, if the fine is collected after 30 days. In the past 4 years, on average, they have collected $27,000 from the village. That will be eliminated and will be much lower if we go with this new system, which will be capped at $20,000. They are offering it for us for a 3-year agreement without any increase in the price. And then in 3 years, we can reconsider, and if necessary, we can search for a new vendor. If there is any question, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I have a few questions. Where would the server, you mentioned that it's independent of the other servers that we have. So where would that server location be? Would it be on our site or?
No, it's a cloud base. It's what's called a cloud base, and basically they'll take care of it. All the pictures that is taken, all the relevant information to the summons that are issued, everything is held at the cloud that is managed by the vendor.
Okay, and you mentioned something that it would be on an Android. Are you saying that it would be on the code enforcement's phone?
Yeah, so village has to pay. Village has to buy basically Android devices for our parking enforcement. Just to mention, during the budget proposed budget, and we were discussing the budget, there is a $10,000 set aside for the budget for the equipment for the court, as we were contemplating changing the vendors or continuing with the current vendor, and the current vendor had given us a $10,000 proposal for giving us all this apparatus. However, if we go out and we buy it ourselves, As I mentioned, I would say the most expensive Android device that is today is found on the market. It's under $1,000. If we need two, or even we need three of them, it will be well below $10,000 that was suggested by the current vendor.
Okay, a couple more questions. One was with the chalking. When the code enforcement scans it, do they, when they go back after the set number of hours, do they have to scan that car again? It's not.
Yes, so they have to scan it again, and the first scanning, it shows that, let's say there was a 90 minutes parking limit, and they go there at 9 o'clock, they scan the plate. So it is electronically chalked at 9 o'clock. When they return at 11 o'clock and they scan the plate again, it will check the coordination of the car, and it electronically chalks it again. And it's, electronically, you can prove now that the car has been parked there for 120 minutes when the parking limit is only 90 minutes. And it warrants a summons.
Okay, and the last question, you said that there would be like a QR code on the bottom of the ticket. What if what if the ticket, the person who receives the ticket doesn't have a smartphone? How do they know?
All the relevant information on the summons will be there. It's not going to be like coded into a QR only. For example, it will say it's a summons issued by the Village of Great Neck. It will write all the common and relevant information that are required on the summons, which is the color of the car, the time of the offense, all the relevant information. And then at the bottom of the page, there will be that QR for a more tech-savvy residents that they can use it. It's not that because there's a QR, there will not be any information on the ticket itself.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
So we'll be saving money by the system just by paying the other company $27,000. We'll be saving $7,000 and getting much more.
I would say more than that. Number one, we are upgrading to a latest application available to the market. Number two, it will cost us less than what we are paying now. Right. And number three, it will streamline everything. We don't have to do a manual chalking of the car, which it's not that it's something that can be won in a court, but a lot of people challenge that currently.
Challenge which one?
They challenge that, for example, I wasn't there. And even though if we have pictures, the pictures can be manipulated according to some people who get tickets. But once you have this picture of the car that is electronically taken, and the timestamp of it, it's a timestamp on the internet, and it's stored on a cloud, and it electronically can be tracked. Basically, it leaves no room to be
challenged.
Right, to challenge it that way. Again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer, but the probability of it being challenged, it gets reduced.
So it sounds like we got to do it. It's a no-brainer.
We have also, I just saw her. I can't see her now. Oh, here it is. Dawn, do you have anything to add? You're very dark. You're
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I was in a restaurant, so now I'm in the car.
Okay.
So just, I guess, to reiterate everything Abraham said, it leaves a lot less room for error. If a parking enforcement hits the wrong drop down and puts the wrong street, those are all dismissed tickets. If they're the wrong color or they type the plate in improperly, aside from all the money you're paying FBS, these are also tickets that we dismiss. So you also lose all of those summonses just based on user error. So you'll regain a bunch of tickets that way as well. But the GPS is probably our biggest thing, because you can't argue that your car wasn't there if we took a picture of your plate and it has a GPS location. The benefit also is if when it takes the pictures, rather than myself having to manually, I go into the system, try and find it, the picture to match the ticket to set it up for court. It's all attached. So if someone were to go onto the internet to pay, they will see their pictures like in New York City. They're going to be less likely to fight it when they see 6 pictures of their license plate, their car, the GPS location, all of that on there. You have a lot less room to argue that ticket. So aside from those things, I appreciate the letter writing. The company we have now doesn't allow us to make our own letters. So I hand type letters if I need to. There's like 5 or 6 templates in there. Otherwise, I have to type everything. This company offers us 24-hour service. If I need any help writing something, doing something, I have any issues, it's going to help us to streamline this. I believe it's going to be a lot easier system, and the village should do better in the long run on this.
And you're going to work through the night.
Hey, whatever.
Calm down.
Sorry,
All right.
guys.
Any other questions or concerns? I do believe that it's a great program. We do need an update on these devices, and I think this was a good find by Abraham. Thank you. Anyone?
Well, it was
that
Dawn
is-
also, it wasn't just me.
and Dawn, right? Thanks. Okay.
Out of the four proposals, as I mentioned, you have all 4 of them in front of you. There's a suggestion that we have as a clerk and the court clerk, it would be G Techno, because again, they are relatively affordable, and they have the latest technology that we need.
So let's go for it.
I agree. I don't think they're relatively affordable. I think they're affordable and revenue producing for us.
Right. All right. So I'm hearing a motion.
You got it from me?
Second.
Okay. All right. Peter?
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, unanimous.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
The last few items on the agenda, the minutes of September 15th. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one, I'm sorry. Also, there is a
The
deadline.
grant
to
application.
apply for- Yes. There's a deadline to apply for a grant through the court. We are requesting if the board can please approve expenditure of $4,000, not to exceed $4,000, to enhance the security of the court as well as the IT operations of the court. By the security, the details of it would be installing a camera at the door for people who want to come in, whether to the village hall or to go to the court. And regarding the IT operation, it would be to decommission the current server that we have in the court. As I mentioned, when we moved to a new application for software management, for ticket management, we will not need such a large server that can store many pictures, because everything will be managed by our vendor. So we can decommission the current server that we have in the court, and we can move all its content into a segregated section of the current server that we have. This will also reduces the monthly expense on the village for maintaining a separate separate server for the court than the main server for the village hall. So that's also an added value that comes with upgrading.
And how much do we spend each month on the server?
It's an annual cost of $2,000 for each server to maintain them.
So it would be payback in 2 years.
Yes.
All right, so let's do it.
Is there a motion to authorize the grant application?
I so move.
And any second?
Second.
Seconded by,
Bart.
Deputy Mayor.
Okay. Any objections or abstentions? Unanimous.
The next item on the agenda are the minutes for September 15, 2020. I'm going to put it up right now.
I'll move them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Mendelson, I'm sorry.
Said aye.
Okay, thank you. The last item on the agenda is an abstract for this coming Friday for the total of $181,275.91.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
For Castle, there's remove and replace 990 lane feet of 8-inch concrete and replace 50 missing cobblestone pieces. Where was that?
That was on Weybridge.
Weybridge?
Weybridge, yes.
And why were they, like, why was so much needed to be replaced?
That's one of the roads that's on the paving list.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which, by the way, the paving company, I spoke to them last week and they told me they could be available within 3 weeks or so. And they would give me a week's notice to let me know when they're coming to pave. I haven't heard from them as of yet.
What are the roads that we're going to pave this year?
I have the list in my truck.
Okay.
I meant
We're going to do it in October or November?
I meant to give it to you today when I saw you because I wanted whoever's responsible to put it on the website.
Right. If you can send it to me tomorrow, I just want to make sure if there's any other ones. Okay.
Okay.
And they're coming in October or November?
I think it was going to be. He told me a week ago that it would be within 3 weeks, and he would give me a week's notice.
Okay. All right. So good enough. Anything else on that list, Annie?
Yeah, a couple of other questions. With H2M, I know I've previously seen bills by them, but this was a retainer agreement. I didn't realize we have a yearly retainer with them.
Yes, so this covers when Don Sayos or any of them from their company, their firm, attends the meetings, for example, for the planning board, they usually go to the BZA meeting. So those are covered by the annual retainer.
Oh, so they're not billing for it in addition to that. It's included. Okay. Two other questions with Knights. What was Knights? Knights. I didn't understand what that was.
That's spray 9 cleaning fluids.
Oh, cleaning fluids. Okay. And I noticed that with some, and I've seen this before, but I don't really understand it. Do we have different phone services that we use? Like it just seems like there's something called Windstream.
Yeah, that's the regular phones. That's
Right.
the regular phones.
We have the regular phones, then we have the phones for the village hall, then we have for the cell phone, and then we have for a few of our tablets that we have. The building department uses tablet. They offer. We have to pay them for the services.
Okay, so for regular phones, we mean landlines. Is that right?
There's a landline, and then we have one landline that we must have, which is an old-fashioned copper line.
Yeah.
That hopefully it will remain just as did during the Hurricane Isaiah, I believe it was called. And then we have the voice over internet. We have the voice over internet for the village hall. That's also we have.
And okay, very last question. Why is it that BZA require? Oh, I guess it's more than, this transcription that we have is for BZA and planning board, is that right?
No, planning board does not rely on stenographer, I believe it's called. Just the BZA is the one that everything is, the transcript is written just for the BZA. Planning board relies on the minutes for their decisions.
Okay. Thank you. I make a motion to accept the abstract.
Second.
Okay.
Any objections or abstentions? Unanimous.
Public comments?
If anybody would like to make a comment, please unmute yourself. I see David was the first to raise his hand. So David, just unmute yourself, please, and state your name and address for the record.
Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
David Lenziger, 15 Beach Road. I had a couple of questions, and they're just different things. To the building department and also to the clerk, I had previously mentioned that there were problems with sidewalk in very bad repair at 2 Allen Drive, but especially on the Van Nostrand Avenue side, and not just once, but at least twice. Has anything happened at that property?
Steve, I believe we spoke about this and you sent the inspectors. Would you like to?
Inspector went out there and notices of violation was sent.
Thank you. I hope something gets done there. Another thing, Mr. Superintendent, again, I complained before and it's just getting worse. 31 Beach Road, the house at the corner of Beach and Maple Street, where the paint is peeling, the building appears to be vacant now. The yard is filled with debris and trash. And you said the peeling business, needs to be taken care of, but that was several months ago. What's the status of that property now?
David, you know what I could do? I could call you tomorrow. I could tell you the status of that tomorrow if you call me in the office.
Okay, because that place is an eyesore and something needs to be done about it. Okay, then I had some other questions. It was mentioned during this meeting about Millbrook Court. Is there any reason why the construction there and at the proposed apartment retail at Middle Neck Pharmacy, HSBC, hasn't begun yet?
So the HBSC and pharmacy, that property, everything is approved, just waiting for permits to be picked up. The lender, the owner is waiting for his lenders just to follow through. I spoke to him Friday, let him know everything is ready, everything's all set to go. And Millbrook, plans went out for review. There was a couple of things that needed to be changed and fixed. That was all redone. And they're having some issue with the sewer department, I believe. On our end, we're about 90% there for that.
Okay, thank you. We have to follow on that. Then I had another question, not for you, but probably to Public Works. Public Works did a great job after the tropical storm in August, but I noticed that lots and lots of trees came down on Beach Road, on Maple Street. I've seen them on Baker Hill, on Arundel. Now, I know we have about $25,000 in the budget for trees. Will there be any plantings coming during this fall?
I hope to have some plantings in probably in the end of the month or November.
Okay, any idea how many trees might be going in?
I have to see what the nurseries have available.
All right, because, well, you're the one who knows. I mean, I saw your guys when they were dealing with the trees on Maple Street. I mean, I don't even know the total number of trees that came down. Offhand, do you know what that was?
I have to look back on my monthly report. It was all in the report.
Okay, I mean, because unfortunately, there was a lot of damage done. Thank you. Now I have one more question, and that's a sort of a general thing. I have previously asked both this board and prior boards, why, since the village has a website, cannot legal notices be posted there? They're posted now and printed in the Great Neck News, and you can see when they get there and there are legal notices. But why can't the residents see the legal notices on the village website?
If the mayor, if the board wishes to do so, they can tell me or tell Brian, and we will take care of it. But it has to, if they wish to publish it, we'll make it happen.
Well, I hope, and perhaps you can ask the trustees, what's wrong with that? Why not do it? I mean, you're paying an outside publisher to print them in the paper, but you have them anyway. So why not post it for the public to see on the village website?
I think it's not a, I don't think, Mayor, you are muted. Just before that, I don't think if publishing on the website will take the place of publishing in the paper, but that's a question for Peter.
Right, Peter, that was a question I was trying to ask you. Is it possible to publish the legal notices on our website, but that's not sufficient and it has to be in a newspaper?
That is correct. You must publish in the newspaper. You may publish as well in addition on the website.
Okay, all right.
Well, Mayor, why don't you ask your other board members and just post it on the website too? I can't see any possible reason not to do that.
I don't have any issue with it. I mean, if there's any village-related issues, we do post our agenda. Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the legal notices that currently, and which are going to be printed in the Great Neck News, and that's fine. I'm all for it. And your council has just told you it has to be done. But why can't they be put on the village website? I mean, it makes a bad impression.
We heard you. I'm okay with it.
About the, Mayor, the public notices that are in the back of the newspaper, those. So I think all we need to do is upload it as a PDF file and just make a link to, to something on the webpage.
We can, this is Karen, we could actually add another section to the, another tab on the top of the webpage, or another section under government. Certainly can do that.
Or just like we have a box for the Zoom meetings, have a box for public notice,
I don't have any issue with it. I mean, if that's going to bring more awareness about what's going on, and you believe that people go on the village website, I think it's a good idea.
It might actually encourage people to use the village website if they know that they're looking for one item. They may pick up other items that are listed. So it might have a beneficial side effect.
Okay.
Well, right. I don't know if you need a resolution to do it, but if you do, I'd urge you to pass one now. If not, those are my questions, and thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, David.
I don't mind passing.
Mayor, a resolution is not.
It's not required.
Not required. You may direct that staff do so without the necessity for a resolution of the board, though there's no harm in a board resolution if the board chooses to pass one.
I mean, I'm going to discuss it with Abraham tomorrow just to make sure there are no other clicks that may come because of this, but I do believe that it's a good idea. Any other comments?
We have another comment. Andrea Katz. Nope.
You're muted.
On a totally, completely unrelated issue, and if it's not appropriate, just stop me. I've lived here since 1958 on and off. My family's had a house here. I'm very sad. What? 21 West Terrace.
Okay.
I'm very saddened by what's going on. And when I say in Great Neck right now, I mean the whole peninsula, but we are a part of that. I'm hearing hate speech. I'm hearing about behaviors against different groups. And it's it's not just one group. I just think it's really making me sad. And I think that the village needs to, as the town of North Hempstead has, I think the village needs to try to do something and make a stand or a statement or something, because it's just not acceptable. I mean, you hear things about the different communities, people are saying, there's no tolerance, and we need to work toward tolerance in our village. You know, we're lucky to have a diversity in our village. But, you know, I don't know where these events occurred, if it was in our village or other villages, but we are a part of the peninsula, and I think we should, as a village, it's our village, we should do something.
So irrelevant what group.
What?
It's also irrelevant what particular group or
No.
nationality or anything, what anybody might belong to. And I'm agreeing with you, Andrea.
Yeah, and it's not just one group. That's what I'm telling you.
Right.
You know, my ears are open. It's sad. Really sad to me.
So Andrea, what I did, I don't know if you follow, but I do try to post as much as possible on Facebook regarding tolerance and not using any kind of a prefix when you're discussing a community in Great Neck. I do believe that it's a wrong thing to do, to use race, religion, color, or creed when you're going to discuss an issue, especially nowadays with COVID. I do believe that we are all one community, and what we do affects part of each community. Even though we are individuals, each individual can affect the entire community. So as I said in the beginning, I urge everyone to not really name and shame, but just discuss the facts that we all need to do this together. And I hope that your message is clear.
I just don't think it's just about COVID, though. I mean, it's very sad the way people are talking about each other. I don't know, maybe we need to have a committee or something where different people, you know, talk together about things that could be done to bring the community together. I don't know. I mean, we all live here.
No, I think that's a great point. You're on point. We'll talk about it. We'll see what we can do. If you have anything,
I'm more than happy to help.
Okay, thanks a lot for reaching out.
Can I comment next?
Sure, go ahead. Just Nina, state
Okay,
your
Nina
address for the
Nina
record.
Gordon, 200 South Middle Neck Road.
Thank
I want to echo what Andrea said and add another layer to it. You know, I've been following stories in the newspaper, and there are a group of young people at Great Neck North who have been meeting to discuss these issues. As a result, it came out of, I think, the June 7th protest in Grace Avenue Park, and there was a girl of mixed race who got together with a couple of other girls, and they've been, I don't know if it's just girls, I don't know, but they've been meeting fairly regularly, and maybe the village can reach out to the school and see if we can, you know, have an interaction with these girls. And additionally, I would like to say that, Mayor, I know your intentions are good, but not everybody's on Facebook. And I think that there's more public education that can be done with signs in the village and publications. If the Great Neck News is your official newspaper, put a statement in the Great Neck News. I think you might reach more people that way than putting something on your Facebook page, because believe it or not, there's a lot of people not on Facebook. And I think it has to be bigger than that. You know, social media is great for some things, but if you go into some areas, there are very big signs that say, welcome to the village of something, maintain your 6-foot distance, be a good neighbor, wear a mask, you know, stuff like that could be done. And I think Andrea's got a good point that maybe some kind of committee would be a start.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Any other comments? You could just unmute yourself, please.
Brian, what was it? *6 if they are calling in?
If you're calling in, you could unmute yourself by pressing *6 on your phone.
Steve, I just wanted to also ask, I know this has come up. Our building code enforcers are allowed, according to the executive order by the governor, to enforce the masks and the numbers of the occupancy if they can see. Obviously, these are probably in public places, not private places, that they do not have a warrant to go in. But I do want to encourage you that to let your code enforcers know that if they do something, that they need to actually mention it and possibly enforce if at all possible.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. All right, if there's no other comments, let me see.
Can I just say one more thing? Sorry, I forgot. It's Nina Gordon again. You mentioned about this wonderful new tool for your parking enforcement people. And I'm wondering if they have a license plate reader and they see, 40 cars parked in front of somebody's house, can they scan those license plates and send that information to the health department? Because I sent a link in the chat box. Great Neck was on the news yesterday on Channel 4 for Leonard's having been fined and their liquor license taken away for 2 weeks for hosting weddings. And it seems that the enforcement goes through the health department. And if you give information to the health department and the fire marshal, they will take action. So if you now have a tool where you can read people's license plates, maybe you can use that for enforcement as well.
Right. So quickly, we don't have that tool now. I'm sure it's going to be a couple of months before we actually get our hands on the tool.
Okay, it was just a thought. Just a thought.
I don't know. I'm hoping by then the COVID is over.
Well,
again,
good luck.
Right. We can always pray and hope. But we don't have that tool in hands now.
Praying is great, but science is great too. Thank you.
I'd like to have a house that could fit 40 cars on the street in front of it.
I mean, you can do that with, again, 40 cars. You don't know if they all belong to the same house. There are other people that park in that street as well. I don't know. Again, we don't have the tool. When we have the tool, we'll discuss it. But for now, I think that may be an idea that can be entertained when we do get the tool. Any other comments?
Mayor, I have the street list. Louis sent it over to me. I'm going to email to you and the board members also.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent.
Move to adjourn.
All right, guys.
Motion to adjourn,
I make the motion to adjourn.
seconded by the deputy mayor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, everybody. Have a great evening.
Everyone.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye-bye.